Hey, this is Dan Brzezowski. Glad you made it back into the No Comfort Zone. Today's podcast is all about life after divorce.
Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
First, let me start off by saying that I am not a relationship expert, nor am I a divorce expert. I am the guy who has made every one of them, mistake when it came to what to do during and after a divorce. That I can tell you, I've learned a lot and I can share it with you, and that's what today's show is all about. The reason why I'm reaching out to you and telling you this on this podcast of personal growth and personal development, because I know a lot of the guys that listen to this podcast, and that's what I'm speaking from. I'm speaking from that point of view, a guy that listens to this podcast, maybe 30s, 40s, 50s, has gone through a divorce and they're on the mend or going through one right now or just came out of one. And I can tell you this based on my experiences and what I did, which are true for me. I can tell you that I mishandled my divorce in the worst way. Both of them. Yes, that's two for yours truly. So let me just kind of talk about this. This isn't a woe is me story because quite frankly, my first wife that I ended up marrying, 21 years old, I proposed to her. She said no. About 2 weeks later, she came back to me and she said to me, of course I would. There was a difference of about, I think 11 years. She was my senior, 21, she was 32. And we got married after knowing each other about 3 months. You could see where this one's going already. It was a physical relationship, I'll say that. And it was about as deep as a puddle. I was a very shallow individual. And we just weren't cut out for each other, although we liked being with each other. But truth be told, in the end, the personalities and the character, both of ours, showed up. And it was time for both of us to move on. And the way I went about doing it wasn't necessarily the best way. But I was under the impression that this person cheated on me. And so what I did is I retaliated in doing the same thing multiple times over with different people. And it wasn't appropriate. I didn't feel good about myself for sure. But I learned it's time to move on. And so we wound up with a divorce and I moved as far away from that individual as I could be. I went from Virginia to Hawaii to escape who I was at the time, to escape my relationship, my financial responsibilities, and start anew, by the way, in tropical paradise, which is one of the most expensive places on the planet to live. Not the smartest move on my part, but I have 4 years of great memories and great friendships. But I should have cleaned it up. I should have actually done the right way rather than having my divorce papers flown out to me, Federal Express, signing them and sending them back. It was so impersonal and I should have done a better job because that person I was in that relationship showed up in the next relationship. And I was married to that person for 10 years and 2 children. And I thought everything was going great as long as I could drink as much as I wanted to drink and basically live the lifestyle that I wanted to do. I didn't have good character. So after that relationship ended, there was some infidelity going on there, I'm pretty sure. But I didn't behave and I became alcoholic. I became very insecure, became very self-centered, and I reacted inappropriately. Now that the divorce is done and over with, and you kind of get an idea how I jumped into the frying pan into the fire, what you'll understand is what I did afterwards, which is where the problems are. Most men, when they go through something like this, they're insecure, whether you like it or not. You're insecure. You are probably not the most ideal person to be with as a mate. But that's immediately when we end a relationship, there's not a cooling off period. We look for another relationship. Most guys jump on dating websites even before the ink is finalized on their paperwork. They start going to bars, they start going to work out, they start going to do all these things. And what ends up happening is you get caught up into this vicious failure cycle because you're still not the right person for a relationship. You need time to heal. You need time to realize who you are and what you're about. And if you've gone through a divorce after you've been married for 10 years, you're a different person. And it's time for you to find out who that person is, not jump into a relationship, physical or not, with another person. I did the thing of starting to work out heavily. I consume myself with working out. I consume myself with doing drugs and drinking alcohol. I consume myself with being on multiple dating websites and dating as many people as I could in a given week. It was a really bad place for me. I spent money I didn't have, and quite frankly, when the party was over after 2 years, I found out that now I'm addicted. Now I've got self-esteem issues. I'm financially broke, and based on all the consequences that I put myself into, or the what do you call it? Based on all the situations I put myself into, I had all these consequences now, and I didn't want to deal with the financial ones, the relationships one, my children. I didn't want to deal with anything anymore because I didn't like the person I turned into, because I was looking for a comfort zone. There, I said it, ladies and gentlemen. I was looking for a comfortable place to be me. But when you think about it, you need to change. And you can't change being comfortable. So you have to go through that comfort zone. And when you get through it and you're uncomfortable, you become a better person. What does that mean? Yeah, that means going to church. That means working on your sleep, going to bed at a consistent time, waking up at a consistent time, same time every day, getting into a pattern, being good to other people, staying connected with the people that were there for you when you were going through the divorce, getting out and meeting people and doing new things, not to conquest or go on this dating rampage or to get with as many people as you can. It's not okay to do. It's not going to make you feel better, is what I'm trying to say. And there's a lot of people that don't realize that you can actually live a better life after being divorced, because you can still have a wonderful relationship with your ex. I can't say that's true for me though. I can still say that, you know what you can do is you can still continue to work on yourself and work on your relationship with your kids and become better and have that peaceful relationship with everybody and become better and find the right person. But it takes time to do that. It takes a long time to do that. At least for me, it did. Because when I decided to get serious about finding my ideal person, just like in my blueprint, I became aware of where I'm at. I'm in a situation in my life where I'm alone. Why am I alone? Because I make poor decisions when it comes to relationships. Identify how I got here. I got here because I don't do the right thing. I make relationships all about me, how they're going to make me feel. That's not okay. It's how are you going to be together in the relationship? I've decided the person, what I want him to look like, act like, be like, parent like, job like. I described all that, and then I decided to take the necessary actions. And in my case, those actions were not dating anymore. I worked on myself. I went to my AA meetings. I worked on my job really hard. I tried to help the salespeople around me. I actually went to the gym on a very regular basis. The time that I would spend at the bar from 9 in the evening until 12:30, I spent in the gym. 3 hours of working out, half an hour in the sauna, showering, going home. And yeah, I would eat at like 1 o'clock in the morning because one, I had sleep issues, but also two, I was lonely and I was bored, but I really wanted to work on myself. So I did a lot of reading. I did a lot of going to seminars. I did a lot of staying connected to my AA group. And I spent a lot of time, and believe it or not, going to the grocery store on Friday nights. Me and my little man, Max, when he was 1 year old. We would do those things because instead of being in on a Friday night, I still wanted to go out. So we would actually go out to the grocery store. No kidding. We drive around in my car and listen to music. Some of the things that we did. But I can tell you this, when I decided of the person I wanted to be, and I decided who the person I wanted to be in my life, those people met. The person I wanted to be became a reality. I worked on myself till I got to that point. And when I got to that point in my life and I realized that this is the person that I really wanted to be, I was astonished because the person I wanted showed up like magic. And it's so funny. I was unsure that this was the right person. I even doubted, like, this can't be true. This person's too good for me. This person is exactly what I wrote about in my journal. 4 pages, by the way. It's unbelievable how this created itself or manifested itself in my life. And that's where I come up with the saying, when you do the right thing, the next right thing happens. So if you've gone through a divorce, or if you're going through one, now's the time for you to get healed up, to get whole again, to work on you. Find out what you like. Find out what you don't like. Be a good father to your kids. Be a good ex-husband. Try to not get caught up in all that stuff because it'll all weigh out. In the end, it doesn't matter anyway. Everyone's right and everyone's wrong and everyone loses in a divorce. But it's how you go about it that really makes the next relationship and who you are better, or a better version of yourself, so the better relationship can show up, I should say. I hope this podcast served you in some way. And if you're going through the divorce, it's not the end of the world. believe you me, life gets so much better. That relationship happened for a reason. The mistakes happened for a reason. The divorce happened for a reason. It's in that adversity that you find out who you really are. And it's in those moments when you face adversity and you find out who you are, it's those challenges. You can make a decision. Do I go comfortable and do I live in that same place and I keep repeating the same routine over and over again? Or is this the day that I look at these decisions that I've made and these consequences and this adversity and learn from it and apply the principles from the No Comfort Zone blueprint, which you can get at Dan at the No Comfort Zone, and I'll just send it to you with a video. Tell me what's going on in your life and I'll send it to you. Or what you do is you decide, you know what, I'm going to learn from this moment. I'm going to apply the principles. And what I'm going to do basically is this. I'm going to today, once and for all, get out of my comfort zone and live on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.